Hey guys, today I went on a quest. I was streaming a game, Pacific Drive. You can, hopefully, I edit that and get something working for that on my gaming channel soon. But essentially, what happened is there was a problem that led to me going down a rabbit hole for setting up a virtual machine for multi streaming. And where this led me was down a rabbit hole of remote access tools. In particular, before I was mostly using like RDP, and I would typically use a tool like MobaXterm and just load, sessions in there. So you just click on them and it fires up and connects. So like if I go to Optics, for example, it asks for a password, you put in something and it connects to the box. Now, that's fine and dandy. That's done through RDP. One of the things that I really hate is something that Google in particular is infamous for, which is buying out the competition and then running that product into the ground. Usually something that people love. But yeah, the Google product's lifetime is very short, and other companies do the same thing. Microsoft is doing similar sorts of things now where Windows release cycles are getting shorter and they're forcing people to upgrade sooner. Stuff like that. So with the remote desktop app about to be deprecated, now's a pretty good time to look into alternatives anyway. And fortunately for me, in 2025, that was a very short process. Yeah, basically, I don't really want to spend money on this kind of solution because it doesn't really feel justified to me. It should be something that's just available. Now, there's definitely products out there that you can look at. TeamViewer is obviously, at once upon a time, it was the gold standard for remotely accessing machines. Now, pretty expensive. Doesn't really offer all that much value for what you pay for it. So that was pretty much immediately out. When I was looking down the rabbit hole, there are a few things that came up. I've used something like Parsec in the past. Parsec is pretty good. Again, the free plan isn't particularly nice in that it doesn't really cater towards a lot of devices with high end specs. You in the free plan anyway, you need to pay to get access to those kinds of features, and also like some delegation stuff, some Teams access and stuff like that. Not that I would really use it, but essentially Parsec didn't really gel with me. So with Parsec and TeamViewer out of the way, I was looking into a couple of other alternatives. Another one that I'd heard of was RustDesk. And RustDesk seemed pretty good as like a TeamViewer alternative. However, um, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's deceptive, but this screen, for example, is the enterprise stuff. This is the enterprise stuff. This, I think you can get most of this on free, if not the whole thing, except for the fact that the whole contacts feature is something that you need to sign in to use. To sign in, you need to pay for a license. So essentially, you get like a quick connect screen. Like you get this screen, but just without the contacts, basically. So all you get is this little thing here and this bit on the side, and you can set it up to either use a permanent password or a rotating one, which is cool. Except it didn't work when I tried to use it. So the reason why I started down this rabbit hole was I spun up a new Linux Mint VM, and for some reason, when I replicated the XRDP installation from the other existing Mint VM that I have from a few months ago, this VM didn't like I couldn't connect to it using RDP, so something changed, and there were a bunch of issues with like I think there was a kernel version that was bad, so whenever I logged in, it would just take me to like a black screen, and the fix for that was to just click around, and eventually it would trigger like a system package manager screen would pop up over the black screen, and then you could use that to update to like a safe version of the kernel, and then reboot and pin it. So I mean, it's not too bad. It's just a bit weird using the same installation media and getting a different experience, which it's pretty typical for installing Linux more than a few months apart, really. There's always something small and finicky you have to change, right? So yeah, the RDP didn't work for that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started installing different remote access clients, and I installed RustDesk. I set it up, and installing it on the machine's fine. But then so with RustDesk, you have the option of, does it say here, self-host, right? Reliable with your own self-hosted servers. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in Proxmox, go to my handy, the helper script, grab the LXC spinner opera for RustDesk, did the needful, and it boots up fine, and it's there fine. But then when you like set up this application to work with that self-hosted thing, it is such a pain. Now there's a couple of ways to make it not a pain. So when I check through the documentation, which is mostly the enterprisey stuff, but somewhere in here, like you don't get access to any of this like console stuff. That's all enterprise. But what you do get is something I found here, which is how you can deploy the client. And the way you're supposed to manage the deployment is when you run that LXC script to install the Proxmox setup script for the LXC, it then sets when you query the service and then find where the service is running from, it generates SHA keys, which you can then supposedly use, like you plug them in and you basically rename the binary installer rustdesk-host equals IP address of your host, key equals blah blah blah.exe, and I'm like, okay, so every time I deploy this on something, I need to find. I didn't even know if it worked with the Linux binaries, because it wasn't in the package managers that I could find. So I was like, okay, this seems like a bit of a kerfuffle to go through, and you can't save the list of machines either. And when I did try to connect, which didn't use the server that I set up, it just flat out failed. So inherently something's not working there. Now it could be for whatever reason, but it's just setting up is way too hard. Obviously there's other products as well, like I talked about Chrome earlier, or Google, the Chrome remote browser extension, Chrome remote desktop. I detest that, but hey, if some people want to use that, that's cool. And then stuff like AnyDesk. I looked at AnyDesk, but similar to TeamViewer, you have to pay. Your free is 3 devices and sort all features. At least they give you MFA. That's awfully nice of them. And then Mesh Central is another one I found, which bit of a cool. It's got that very open source sort of look to it. So yeah, and then finally the one that I did find, and the one that I liked, was No Machine. And my experience with No Machine was just phenomenal. Now, I did need to change the system font that it uses because it doesn't look particularly pretty. But, so what you get, you install it, and this is the local discovery that it has, and it automatically just detects everything fine. And you get various options. On my gaming PC, I've disabled the server. When you shut it down, you can tell it not to boot on system startup. You can configure ports. I didn't. I just left it on default, which is probably a huge security concern. Yeah, you can specify some somewhat granular permissions. You can set device pass-through, all that kind of jazz. It's really neat, and like it's pretty quick as well. What I've noticed. So like if I go in here to optics, which was that machine from before, spins around for a little bit, gives me this. I just bang it in. It gives you display options. And then yeah, here we go. And then, you know, I'm basically in the machine already. You probably know what that password is based on the keystrokes. So yeah, well, it even gives you a little chime. Tells you a bit of information about what's going on. Oh, hey, your desktop's being viewed, connected. And yeah, I mean, it's really sweet. It's nice and fast. I haven't had any problems with it, and yeah, like installing it's super easy as well. Like there's one thing that I think I wanted to change on one of the machines, and other than that, it's just easy as to just install it on the local network. Maybe RustDisk has like a local discovery thing, but hey, whatever. No Machine doesn't even have like a pricing page at the top. There's a pricing link at the bottom. I haven't even looked at this yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it's free. Okay, no, that you can pay for enterprise support. But yeah, otherwise, cloud server. But nothing that stops you from using any of the functionality of the actual product, which is great. So yeah, now I'm committed to this thing. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Now I'm just installing it on this machine, which is a Windows VM for work. So just, okay, never mind, maybe did Windows clean it for me? Did I install it already? No. A machine for Windows. Let's make me click it again. Ah, okay, that's sneaky. 64, download, pop up. Select yes to UAC. Then yeah, like a little, this will install it. You know, read through the terms and conditions very thoroughly, like everyone on the internet should. Does its install. This part, for some reason, takes a few minutes. Cool. And then it probably asks to reboot. Sweet, reboot. Oh, Windows updates. Oh. Oh. 35. $96. $100. Ta-da! Oh, what a password. Cool. Now no machines. Little desktop icon on the side. We bring up me no machine. Oh, look at that lad. Oh, okay, I haven't named this machine yet. Oh. Isn't advanced? Oh. No Windows updates this term, guys. So it'll be nice and quick. Oh, but I need to put in the password again. Oh. I don't know. Can I delete this? You're gonna see my IP address. Hexwalls me. Oh, never mind. I just did the needful. So it gives you some options when you connect. I'll just take that off just in case. So, audio settings, just mute, which is pretty normal. How you want to do the scaling, I don't know what the difference is between these two screens. I think this is host onto client. And this is client window versus the host display. Is this going to make it? No? Okay, so it's going to keep it scaled. I can fit the whole thing in your little viewport. I lied. So this is like scaling this window. The one improvement would be if I could get it to sign in directly without needing to punch in the password, but I will take my victories where I can get them. And yeah, bang, this is... I didn't know about the jingle until just now, so the jingle is nice. Yeah, here we go, no machine. Yay, whoop-dee. Yeah, you can just use the machine and do whatever you need to do. So yeah, here you go, nice and easy. If I did this in RustDesk, it wouldn't even connect. Thanks guys, let me know what you think. I'm curious if you have had a better experience with RustDesk in particular, or if there's another tool that you enjoy more. Although from searching around, No Machine and RustDesk seem to be the big two that people are going on about. Thanks for checking out my video. Have a good one. Bye.